Welcome to my house. We're gonna go on a bit of an eco tour of all my green contraptions. So come on in. Hi, I'm Vanessa Farquharson. I'm a journalist at the National Post in Toronto, Canada, and I just wrote a book called Sleeping Naked is Green: How an Eco-Cynic Unplugged Her Fridge, Sold Her Car, and Found Love in 366 Days. It's a long-winded title, but I'm sure you can remember it. It chronicles my year making 366 green changes to my life. So that includes unplugging my fridge, selling my car, showering in the dark, not flushing the toilet so often, and basically it follows me going a little bit crazy, having a nervous breakdown, but eventually pulling through and even finding love. You can find it now at bookstores across North America or Amazon.com. So we're here in my kitchen, which at first glance may not seem so green, but I'm just going to show you a few of the things I have that I really like, and that they were changes that I made that I'm keeping up. So one of them is a butter bell. Now this was when I had unplugged my fridge, which a lot of people think is a really drastic change, but in fact, it's quite easy to live with. So this here is a butter bell. It's how I kept my butter fresh during my challenge. And how it works is there's actually a little bowl in here. That's where the butter goes. And then in this dish is just water. You put like maybe an inch or so of water. So what that does is you put it in like this. The water sort of surrounds it and creates a bit of a seal so that there's no air getting in, which is how butter goes bad. And it's great. It keeps it fresh for weeks as long as you change the water every now and then, and keeps it at perfect spreading consistency. So this was one of the best changes that I made. Another thing that I had to deal with when I didn't have a fridge was keeping vegetables fresh and crunchy. That was a bit of a challenge, but then I sort of again realized that using water is a great idea. So basically here I have some cilantro, which looks a little wilted, but basically I'll just take a vase, fill it with water, and then I basically stick the cilantro in there, and you know, it'll perk up eventually, but you can just leave it out on your counter, and you can put spinach or kale or Swiss chard in here, any of your greens, even carrots, and I think they actually look quite pretty. You can almost sort of make it a centerpiece for your table. Same thing with this little vase here. You can use a smaller one for some of the broccoli and fill this with water, and I don't know, I think that looks quite cute actually. Also during my green year, I wasn't using my dishwasher, although I did have a dishwasher. So what I was doing was hand washing. And then I realized that when you put them in the rack, they just sort of, I was using my dishwasher rack to let them dry. And they were just kind of dripping this water, and it was going into the bottom of the dishwasher and not being used. So I thought a good thing to do to reuse this water was to water my plants. So basically, I leave my houseplants in the bottom of the dishwasher, pull out the top rack, let them breathe a bit, and then after I wash the dishes, I just sort of like put them in there, let them dry, and they just kind of drip into the plants, so there's not as much water being wasted. So this here is my dual flush toilet, which I love, and it's in my new house. So the handle, you can see you flush that way for half a flush and this way for a full flush. So it's great because most of the time you're only flushing half the water and saving it that way. In my old place though, when I was doing my challenge, I didn't have a dual flush toilet. So what I did was I took a water bottle, filled it up, and then you just take the tank lid off, and you just sort of submerge the water bottle into the tank. And what that does is displace the amount of water that's in the water bottle. And it means that every time you flush the toilet, you're flushing this much less water. So that's an easy way to conserve your water if you're in a house without a dual flush toilet. So here is just another couple things that you can do in your bathroom at home that are really easy. You don't need to be hardcore green. But one is the shower curtain liner. This is a thing that sort of prevents the water from dripping out. This one though is PVC free, and that's pretty important because PVC is a type of plastic that sort of leaches phthalates when it gets hot and moist. And apparently this has been linked to erectile dysfunction, although I'm not going to say I know anything about that. But you can get these for IKEA for about $2, and it's sort of worth the peace of mind. I also, another cute thing I have that I bought at Grassroots, my local health food hippie store, is this little soap dish, and it's made from reused chopsticks. So again, another object that just kind of uses something out there instead of putting it in the landfill and turns it into what I think is a really cute little household item that you can actually pack up and put in your suitcase if you're traveling. So little things like this, the soaps, the toothpastes, recyclable toothbrushes. There's really a whole lot in this bathroom that's pretty green, and you might not notice it at first, but it was all part of my challenge, and each item is really important. And one last thing that I want to show you is my laundry balls, which are these little things that you keep in the dryer, and they're made of some sort of rubber, I believe, but they look super cute, and basically it means that you don't have to use any of those disposable static cling sheets every time you put your clothes in the dryer. These do the job, and they last over 100 times. You can again find them usually in health food stores, any kind of green hippie friendly store, and they also sell cloth ones that you can, once they're done after 100 or so dryer runs, you can also reuse them as tea towels. So there's a lot of options out there. So that's it for the tour of my eco crib. And get out of here and buy a copy of Sleeping Naked is Green at your nearest bookstore. Bye.